Okay, so we're 5 days away from the Polo Gala, and there's still a lot to do. First of all, I have to get my own costume together. I decided to put together this polo shirt, Empire Falls Sporting Club. And I got these iron-on letters from a craft store. And the thing is, I don't like how white the white is on them. So I'm going to have to tea stain them or something, just to give them a little more authentic coloring to go on this shirt. I also have boots and knee pads, white pants, and a 1920s polo helmet that I bought from eBay. The knee pads, normally they're leather, very expensive, come out of England a lot. I didn't want to splurge on those, so what I did was I went to Home Depot and I bought a couple of construction worker knee pads. They're just fabric, a little reinforcement on the inside, and they're black, I think nylon, and I spray painted them brown as a base coat. Really heavy, thick coat of brown spray paint, sort of smooth out the texture of the nylon. And then I'm going to go back over them with some hand painting to give it sort of a worn leather look, and hopefully that'll work for that. Also, we have the picnic hampers that we have sold. They're going to be wooden crates that contain your plates and your blanket, and some gourmet food and glasses and something to drink. We sold about 10 of those, so we've gone into production manufacturing those from scratch. First of all, we had to find some decent crates. I looked at the option of making them, which would be cheaper. I could buy big pieces of plywood and slice them on the table saw and build crates, and that is in the long run cheaper, but it would take a lot of time, and there's a million different things that still have to be done. So I avoided that, and I found the cheapest crates that I could, which were at a craft store, and they were $9.99. They're pretty good. They're made of thick pieces of wood on the side and thin slats on the edge. And I have to age them. We'll go to the shop and I'll show you how I'm doing that. And also personalize them by putting people's initials on the side. So last night what I did was I printed out these stencils, printed them out on my computer, and then took an X-Acto knife and cut every letter out. I like these letters because they have a nice vintage monogram type look to them, as opposed to the normal stencils that you can buy on online that look like stencils. And those go on the side of the crates, on the slats of the crate, because we want these to look as though they're reused, as though they're from someplace in the universe of Empire Falls. I decided that they would be reused crates from Arcana Mills, which is of course where all the hooch is distributed from in Empire Falls. So I also cut out these smaller little stencils. It takes a very long time, and I cut them out of cardstock. I will use them as stencils. The little middles of the P's and the A's and things are missing, and I have them cut out separately. And when I attach this onto the crates, with a little spray glue, I actually put the middles of them on, spray it, and reuse it. So I have to make a couple of these because you can only get about 3 to 4 good uses out of this type of homemade stencil. So that is that. We got our blankets today for the picnic baskets. We looked around. We looked at a lot of different sources. We spent a lot of time in downtown Los Angeles Fabric District, which is a very hot exercise, and there's a lot of fabrics, but we really wanted something finished, something a little nicer, something that went with our sporting club color themes, sort of red, navy blue, white. So we finally found some online and ordered them. and they arrived today. Fantastic. That is one element of it. The other element of it is getting the gourmet food and drinks and plates and all of that, which we still have to source. So 5 days out, still a lot to do. Stay with us. Behind the scenes, Lost Years of Kali. Picnic blankets! Our picnic blankets have arrived. All right, fantastic. Let's see. Ah, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So these were the cheapest blankets we could find online that suited our needs. Plaid, rolled up, fantastic. Great. So we have about a dozen of these. Those will go in our picnic hampers for everyone who's purchasing one of those. I'm hard at work aging the wooden crates right now at the shop, so we'll take a trip over there and see how that's coming along. But yay, that's off our plate, as it were. So these are our crates. These are the unpainted crates that we found, $9.99 at the craft store. I took them and gave them a brown, gray paint color. That's the base coat. It started like that. Very flat, no detail to it. They're passable. What we did after that was done, I started to sand that off. Let's bring back the highlights of the wood. Left it at the edges where it's darker, towards where the nails are. And from here, I'm going to spray paint the stencils on and hand paint the initials here. When that's all said and done, it's going to get a clear coat, and the clear coat brings that wood out nicely, very nicely. Gives it a nice mellow tone. So I just experimented on this one right here, but you can see the difference between before and after it gets clear coated. So I have 10 crates and a lot of sanding to do, so I'm just going to get at it. Fast forward 4 hours later, I've sanded 10 of the crates. Now it's time to stencil our initials on the side. So I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to outline these. And when I'm done, I'm going to hand paint the letters in. It's a little more time consuming than using it as a spray paint stencil, but in the end it'll look a lot better. So this will take several more hours. We finished stenciling the monograms on the crates, and the next thing to do is spray paint the Arcanum Mills Empire Falls stencil on the sides of the crate. I'm also going to lightly sand the initials back down get a little wood grain popping out. And then once all those stencils are done, then I can go over these and give them the light clear coat. Okay, so we have sanded the letters. They look fantastic. And now we're going to stencil the Empire Falls on the side. So I'm going to grab some craft paper somewhere. Here we go. And I'm going to put it over the entire side of the crate. And only cut out the one section that I need, and that's where my stencil will end up going. The rest of the crate will be protected while I spray paint it. So, some marks here. Cut. And this will be the window that I can spray paint through. And nothing else will get hit. So, perfect. Now I'm going to dust the back of this with some spray glue. Just a light dusting, so that when I stick it on the wood, it will go down completely flat. Give us a nice registration. Okay, so here's our stencil. I have it glued down, and those little pieces that I had cut out earlier, I've put them down as well. And all of this is lightly spray mounted on so they're not going to move. And now I'm going to give it a light dusting with my spray paint. Certainly it doesn't have to be even. And there we go. So we should be able to gently take this off. And there we have it. Beautiful. The spray glue on the back is the absolute secret to stenciling. Keeps it nice and tight. Great. And those little middles that I cut out does wonders. There we go. Their Empire Falls crate. I have a whole bunch of them now. And if you are suspecting that now I'm going to sand the stencil part, you're absolutely right. So, on to that. What you making?
Deviled ham.
It's a lot of mayonnaise.
It sure is. But we also have a lot of ham. And I ain't talking about my thighs.
Oh, baby.
Deviled ham.
Making 30s food, making 30s food.
Put it in the blender and mix it all up.
And I'm going to make the cream cheese spread. So I have my whipped cream cheese, and I'm going to add bacon bits and pimentos and smush it all together.
First that. That's very good.
A regular Martha Stewart.
Let's try.
Erica's busy at work making homemade whoopie pies.
Like cupcake tops.
Okay, so we're working on my costume right now. The polo outfit, the 1930s polo outfit for the Empire Falls Sporting Club. And I have these iron-on letters. But the edges are too white. So I'm going to make some tea. I have some just standard English breakfast tea here. And we're going to boil some water and throw them in. And I don't think I want to dip them in. I mean, I know it's just sort of rubber on the back that when you iron it, it melts onto the fabric. I just don't want to risk damaging them too much, so I think I'm going to make the tea and then take a small paintbrush and just stain the white area. Not too much, of course, we don't want it to look dirty, we just want it to look aged. There's a white here on the shirt, and I have this 1920s vintage polo helmet that I bought, made in England. It's fantastic. And this sort of dirty color, been used, been on the field, that's what I'm going for. And this already looks pretty tea stained naturally, so I think my tea formula will work out very well for that. These hats are becoming more and more difficult to find, and to find one in your size is near impossible. It's worth it. I mean, I'm hosting this gala, so I got to look the part. I could have worn a suit or something like that, but I wanted someone to be an Empire Falls polo player. That fell to me. So, as soon as the water is boiling and the tea is in, we'll get started on that aging process. Our tea is done. We're going to see if this gives us enough coloration. Yeah, just enough. Alright, so we're going to tea stain our letters. Here's our before and after. You can get a shot of this. The white original one and the tea stained one. This tea stain is still wet. It's going to get a little lighter. And against the red, that still reads as fairly white, just not as brand new as this one. So I think these came out good. I look forward to ironing them on now. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing some of what went into putting together the Polo Gala for the Lost Years of Kali. Obviously, we left a lot of stuff out, but a lot of times I just didn't have the time to tape record myself doing it. From me and Safi, I hope you're enjoying the game. Lost Years of Kali, behind the scenes.